When someone vanishes without a word, the void they leave behind ripples through the emotions of those left in uncertainty. At first there is shock, a sudden disruption to reality, an emptiness where once there was presence. The mind scrambles for answers, weaving scenarios to make sense of the absence, replaying past moments in search of clues. The brain, desperate for understanding, constructs possibilities, each one more unsettling than the last. Then comes the gnawing doubt. Was it something they did? Were they not enough? The silence becomes a mirror, reflecting insecurities long buried. Every interaction is dissected, analyzed under the harsh light of self-criticism. The weight of unspoken words and unanswered questions grows heavier, pressing down with an intensity that makes even the most mundane moments feel surreal. Anger follows, burning with resentment. The disappearance feels like a betrayal, an injustice that cannot be confronted. It festers beneath the surface, manifesting in bitter thoughts, in clenched fists, in restless nights filled with imagined confrontations. The mind wrestles with the unfairness of it all, seeking closure where none exists. Sadness settles in, a quiet mourning for something lost without a goodbye. The absence is heavy, a dull ache that lingers in the background of daily life. Grief takes different forms. Sometimes it is loud, breaking through in sudden waves of emotion. Other times it is quiet, a slow erosion of hope, a fading light. Regret takes hold. What could have been done differently? What words were left unsaid? The past becomes a playground of what-ifs, an endless loop of possibilities that will never be. But for some, clarity emerges from the loss. A sense of relief dawns, a realization that the departure may have been necessary. The absence, once so painful, begins to feel like a gift, a chance to break free from something that was no longer serving them. The heart, though bruised, starts to feel lighter. Curiosity lingers in the background, whispering questions with no answers, yet demanding none. Where did they go? What was their reason? Will they ever return? The unknown has its own pull, its own quiet power, but over time, its grip loosens. Indifference stands as a shield for those less tethered to attachment. Life moves forward, unshaken by absence. Not everyone clings to those who leave. Some simply accept and move on, understanding that nothing is permanent. For others, the loss becomes a catalyst, a moment of reckoning, a push towards self-discovery. They learn to stand on their own, to find strength within rather than in the presence of another. The pain forces them to grow, to confront their own vulnerabilities, to forge a new path free from reliance on external validation. Time smooths the edges of pain, transforming wounds into lessons. Eventually, peace takes root, as the impermanence of all things becomes clear. What once was a source of anguish fades into acceptance. The weight of loss becomes lighter, replaced by the realization that everything is transient. Life does not wait, and neither do those who choose to move with it. The past remains where it belongs, a memory that no longer defines the present. The journey toward inner strength. After the storm of emotions, there comes a time for rebuilding. At first, the world feels different, as though something essential is missing. The echoes of the past still linger, but they no longer hold the same power. Instead, a quiet strength begins to emerge, a resilience born from pain and self-reflection. The road to healing is neither swift nor straightforward. There are days when the weight of loss resurfaces, pulling the heart backward. Doubt creeps in, whispering that the past was better, that something vital was left behind. But through the haze of longing, there is also newfound clarity. The realization dawns that strength is not found in holding on, but in letting go. Solitude, once feared, becomes a companion. In its stillness, a person learns to sit with their emotions rather than run from them. The mind, no longer clouded by what was, begins to focus on what can be. Hobbies once forgotten are rediscovered, dreams set aside or rekindled. A new identity starts to take shape, one that is not defined by those who leave, but by the choices of the one who remains. There is power in knowing that nothing lasts forever. People will come and go, circumstances will shift, and emotions will ebb and flow. What remains constant is the ability to endure, to adapt, to grow. The lessons learned from loss become the foundation upon which a stronger self is built. Eventually, the past becomes just that, the past. No longer a haunting presence, but a chapter in a much larger story. The pain that once seemed unbearable becomes a distant memory, overshadowed by the strength that took its place. And when another loss inevitably comes, as it always does, there is no fear. Only the understanding that, like before, they will endure, and they will rise, embracing change and moving forward. With newfound resilience, the journey does not end. Rather, it transforms into something greater. The mind that once clung to what was, now embraces what is. The heart, once fractured by loss, beats with a quiet steadiness, no longer seeking completion in another, but finding wholeness within. Change becomes a welcomed guest instead of an intruder. The fear of losing something or someone no longer dictates the course of life. Instead, there is acceptance, an understanding that everything is fluid, that attachment can be appreciated without becoming a chain. One learns that nothing is truly lost, only transformed into a different experience, a different lesson. New relationships, new experiences, and new paths begin to unfold. There is no longer hesitation in stepping forward, no longer a need to look back in search of what was. The past, once a source of longing, becomes a place of gratitude, a reservoir of memories that shape but do not define. Joy, once elusive, returns in simple moments. A sunrise, a conversation, a quiet evening alone. Each is appreciated with a depth unknown before. The presence of others is welcomed but not required for fulfillment. Independence becomes a way of life, not as an act of defiance, but as a testament to the inner strength cultivated through hardship. Ultimately, moving forward is not about forgetting, but about evolving. It is about carrying the wisdom of pain without being burdened by it, about welcoming new beginnings without fear of inevitable endings. The world continues to turn, and those who have learned to let go move with it, unshaken, unafraid, and ready to embrace whatever comes next. The wisdom of letting go. True strength is not found in resistance, but in surrender. To let go is not to lose, it is to trust. It is to understand that life is a river, ever flowing, carrying away what no longer belongs and bringing forth what is meant to be. Those who master the art of letting go do not cling to the past, nor do they fear the future. They walk with a quiet confidence, unburdened by what was, open to what will be. Letting go does not mean forgetting. It means remembering without pain. It means honoring what was without allowing it to dictate what is. It is the ability to stand firm in the present, knowing that the past has no power except the meaning we give it. With each step forward, there is a lightness, a freedom, and in that freedom, there is peace. The strength found in letting go. True resilience lies not in clinging to the past, but in the ability to let go. As we evolve, we realize that holding on to old wounds, past hurts, or the way things once were only hinders our progress. It is in releasing these burdens that we open ourselves to true growth and transformation. Letting go is not an act of defeat, but one of liberation. It is the acknowledgement that we cannot move forward while anchored to what is no longer serving us. Whether it is the end of a relationship, the loss of a dream, or the fading of a chapter in our lives, releasing the grip we have on these memories allows us to clear space for new opportunities and experiences. This process of letting go is often messy and uncomfortable. It requires patience and vulnerability. There may be moments of doubt where we question if we made the right decision or whether we are truly ready to move on. Yet in these moments of discomfort, we must remind ourselves that we are not abandoning what was, but rather choosing to honor it by continuing our journey. Through this, we come to understand that letting go is not about forgetting the past. It is about finding peace with it. It is about accepting that life changes, that people change, and that we too change. Each new phase is an opportunity to reinvent ourselves, to rediscover who we are and what we want from life. We no longer need to define ourselves by our past experiences or the relationships that have shaped us. Letting go also teaches us the beauty of impermanence. Life is constantly in flux, and in that constant change, we find our greatest opportunities for growth. By releasing attachments, we allow ourselves the freedom to move with the rhythm of life, to dance with its ebbs and flows, rather than struggle against them. We begin to understand that every loss, every change, is simply a step in a much larger journey. A journey that leads us to a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. In embracing this process of letting go, we learn that true strength comes not from holding on to what is familiar, but from surrendering to the flow of life and allowing ourselves to evolve with it. It is through this surrender that we become the most authentic versions of ourselves, free, at peace, and open to all the possibilities that lie ahead. The peace of acceptance and the wisdom of the journey. As we reach the final stages of this journey, there is a quiet understanding that settles in. The realization that all things, including loss, change, and growth, are part of a greater plan. The process of healing, learning, and evolving becomes less about the destination and more about the journey itself. We find peace not by avoiding pain, but by learning to coexist with it, transforming it into wisdom that shapes the person we are becoming. The heart, once burdened with grief, now finds comfort in the knowledge that every experience, both joyous and painful, has been integral to shaping our character. The wisdom acquired through each challenge becomes a foundation, a deep-rooted knowing that allows us to navigate life with grace and clarity. We come to understand that peace does not come from external circumstances, but from the acceptance of life as it is. It is the recognition that, while we cannot control every aspect of our existence, we have complete control over our reactions, our mindset, and the meaning we assign to our experiences. This shift in perspective is the ultimate key to inner freedom. Freedom from attachment, from fear, from regret. As we stand at the threshold of the future, we are no longer prisoners of the past. We are no longer defined by the people who left, the dreams that faded, or the pain that once consumed us. We are defined by the strength we have cultivated through our struggles and by the choices we continue to make each day. Our past is no longer a weight to bear, but a source of profound insight that fuels our continued growth. With this wisdom comes an understanding that the future holds limitless potential. Each moment is an opportunity to start anew, to make different choices, and to chart a course aligned with our truest selves. There is no fear of what lies ahead because we trust in our ability to handle whatever life may bring. We have learned that pain is temporary and growth is eternal. The lessons from our journey have made us more resilient, more compassionate, and more connected to our purpose. Ultimately, the path we have walked, full of loss, growth, and transformation, has led us to a place of deep peace. We are no longer at war with the world or with ourselves. We have embraced the full spectrum of our humanity, our vulnerability, our strength, our imperfection, and our wisdom. The journey is never truly over, for life continues to unfold with each new day. But as we step into the future, we do so with a sense of calm assurance, knowing that we are equipped to face whatever comes our way. We have learned that the greatest power lies not in avoiding challenges, but in embracing them, not in resisting change, but in flowing with it. And in doing so, we unlock the infinite potential of the life ahead of us.